Welcome to the Living the Dream podcast with Curveball. If you believe, you can achieve. That connects with his audience. Gary has had the privilege to perform at the Tennessee State Fair, the Rocky Gap Music Festival, and the CMA Fest. He has opened for several greats, and we're also going to be talking about his new project and why he decided to dedicate it to his brother who recently passed. Gary, thank you so much for joining me today.
Hey, thank you for your time, Eric Curtis.
Why don't you start off by giving the audience a little bit of background about yourself, anything that you might want us to know?
Well, I'm actually from the Pittsburgh area. I live about 40 miles east of Pittsburgh. I have had music in my blood since I've been a kid. They said I could dance before I could sing, and once I could talk, that's all I did was sing. So I've been singing a very long time. Brought up on country music. My dad listened to country music. Nobody really in my family is too much musically inclined. My immediate family, some of my cousins, they've been in bands and stuff like that. And I've always been intrigued by country music. I've tried other types of music through the years. It's just I feel at home with country music. It's where I feel comfortable. It's sort of I love country. My voice is suited for country music. So all through grade school, I was sort of a backward kid. I didn't I was a little shy when I was younger, and maybe that's why I went to music and sort of my place to escape, and I was sort of a loner actually. So I went through school, went through high school. I did join like the choir and the ensemble and stuff like that in high school, and went to college. I have a bachelor's in business administration and marketing, and I was involved in the theater there and musical groups there. And my first band, actually, I was probably 15 years old. We used to practice at my mom and dad's house in the basement. Everybody else in the band, they were like in their 20s and over, and me, and I had a girl that sang with me. I like duets, so I'm a little partial to them, but I always had a girl singing with me, and we were both young, and my parents always had to go everywhere we sang because we sang a lot of the clubs, and like the Polish club and Italian club and what have you, VFWs and stuff like that. But what's my parents always had to be there because we couldn't be in the bar. We was allowed to be up on stage singing, but we really couldn't be in the bar. Even I know one place we played, they said we had to go outside on our breaks, and nothing like sending a 15-year-old out in the dark in the middle of the night just for our breaks. But my parents were there, so that was like my first bands I was in. I haven't really quit except for 1 year I did quit, but we'll get to that in a bit. So after college, I was going back and forth to Nashville and was down there, lived down there for a little bit and played all the clubs and had some showcases, and nothing ever really happened. That's when I played the Tennessee State Fair and the CMA Fest, which was absolutely wonderful. I sang on the outside, like when people were going in on the streets and stuff like that. But that was an exciting time. So I moved back from Nashville and sort of was discouraged and decided to maybe I shouldn't do this, and got a real job, and just I wasn't happy. So I took about a year off of music, and I really wasn't happy at all. I started getting miserable and short with people, and so I decided, you know what, music makes me happy, and it doesn't make a difference if I make it, if I don't make it. Thing is, I want to create, I want to, sing my songs, and I want to sing, cover songs too. And I didn't care if it just went to my basement and didn't get any further, and because it made me happy. It's part of who I am. And when I quit, I guess I sort of lost a part of me. So I know I'll be singing till the day I die. I just love music. It's like I said, in my blood. So I started doing some little gigs and stuff like that, and decided to start. I did a couple smaller CDs prior to that, but this I have two CDs out there now. One was a Christmas CD I put out in 2019, and then my current project, which I'm sure you have some questions about that. But that sort of led me up to where I am now. You know, I did started singing at a place called the Palace Theater here in Greensburg, and opened up for a lot of different people, like you mentioned. And, you know, that's something that you can't get from these virtual concerts that a lot of people are doing now because they have to. Is that one-to-one contact with some of the great, the great singers and the great songwriters, and I think,
Well, let's talk about
yeah.
those great singers and songwriters. Tell us who they are and how did you actually get to open up for those
Okay.
people?
A few of them were just like different organizations in the area that were having like fundraisers, and they would have some different people come in that were bigger names, and I would open up for them. But most of them were through the Palace Theater, which is right here in Greensburg. There was Latshaw Productions contacted me and asked me if I'd want to open up. I believe one of the first ones I opened up for was Dwight Yoakam, I believe. That was really exciting. And from there, every time they needed an opening act, they would give me a call, and I always have like a band behind me, and when we're doing something like that, I do some small gigs here and there, just me and another a girl here that is a friend of mine and sings with me. But meeting those people, Dwight Yoakam, Travis Tritt, Lori Morgan, and Pam Tillis, opened up for both of them. They are the sweetest. I have nothing but good things to say about them. They were just so awesome, and invited me to do my autographs when they did them. And we had pizza before the show, and they come knocking on my dressing room, and they're saying, "Hey, you want to come have pizza with us?" I'm like, "Yeah, you bet I do." They were awesome. Then there was Ronnie Millsap. He was when I opened up for him last time. He was a little under the weather, so I didn't really get a chance to speak to him or talk to him. Crystal Gal I opened up for years ago, and most of that's all through the Westmoreland Cultural Trust here in the area too. So I do a lot of things for them too. So that's sort of how I got to open up for those great people, and I'm honored. I've always wanted to sing at the Palace Theater when I was a kid, and it's one thing off my bucket list, I guess you could say.
Well, let's talk about your latest project, talk about dedicating it to your brother, and also talk about how your top track was written by a Grammy Award nominee. How did you manage that one?
I think it was.
Tell us the name of the project as well.
Yeah, I tell you, when I first started doing this project at Tonic Studios in McKeesport, Doug Casper and my producer Brian Cole, I told him I sort of I was thinking about dedicating it to my brother who I lost like 3 years ago, and we were really close. And it's really hard on my family, my parents. I feel for them. They go through it every day, and we all do. And one thing is, I spend a lot of times with my parents because they sort of help me at my business here. So I get to see them a lot, and we talk about my brother a lot. But I wanted to do something in his memory, and I mean, this is what I love to do, and so I wanted to dedicate this to him, and started doing the songs, and I just wasn't jiving. Like, how am I gonna? I want to dedicate it like with a reason behind it, or some attachment, not just an album and his name's like, this is dedicated to Dennis Pratt. I wanted it to have some kind of meaning, and it wasn't connecting. It was like, I don't know how it's going to make sense for me to dedicate this to my brother. I'll tell you a little bit about the songs. We did 10 songs, and the first song is called "You Got to Jump In." It's a song I wrote about actually being a little backward and being scared to go after your dreams, and maybe even just being scared to ask somebody out. or to go for that job interview, whatever it is. This song is like, you got to jump in. You just got to go for it and, you know, get out of your comfort zone, because that's what makes you grow. And through the years, I've seen that. If I known that then and had the courage to get out of my box a little bit earlier, I probably would have, been doing what I'm doing right now a little earlier. But that's okay. God puts you where He wants you when you're ready. Throughout the album, there's the songs like the beginning of life after you get out of high school. You just got to jump in and go for what you want, go for your dreams. And one thing, don't ever give up on them. Even if you're just an artist that likes to paint in your basement, paint in a little studio. If you're like a sports person that wants to go, if you're afraid to leave your family or whatever and go to some kind of sports camp, don't be. You'll love it. Just go and get out of your box. That's sort of the start of the album. Throughout the album, it's like growing up. It's having fun with your friends and going out drinking, and it's about heartbreaks. Everybody has those, and there's a reason why things don't work out, with those relationships. It's about the first song that we released was a song titled "The Song You Can Drink a Beer To," and it's about you always need a song to drink a beer to, be it a celebration at a wedding, or you're celebrating the end of a work day or the end of the work week, or celebrating something with your family. You need a song to drink a beer to. And on the other hand, there's sad situations, and it's like, maybe someone passed away, or you lost a job, or maybe someone's moving away that you really love, that they're not going to stay. And either way, you need a song to drink a beer to. So that's why we released that one as the first single, which is available on Spotify and iTunes and Amazon and all your music media sites. And so that was like I said, the first release. And as the CD goes on, it talks about having faith in God, and knowing that, you may go through some things in your life that you think, oh, how can I get through this? Or maybe you lost a job, or you lost maybe a relationship didn't work out. Then you find that special someone that why those other relationships didn't work out. You find that your true love, and God was getting you ready to find that person. You have to lose. One song I wrote on here, which is a duet, I wanted it to be a duet with somebody else on the MTS label, Savannah Nider. So I asked her if she would go and do this as a duet. Like I said, I'm partial to duets, and she was on board. So my producer and I, we traveled down to Nashville, because that's where Savannah lives, and I met her and everything, and we recorded that track actually in Nashville Omni Studios. And that was a cool, just to go back to Nashville and be there. But the problem was, it was during the pandemic when it first started. So, nothing was really open, which was fine, sort of, stayed to myself other than going to the studio. And I went out with Savannah and her husband for dinner one night. Great girl. The song turned out great. It's called "To Find Us." I can't wait for people to hear that. Then, so the whole album is about life. It's about everything that everybody goes through. So I think a lot of people will be able to, relate to all the songs on the album. And that's sort of why I picked these songs for this album. It's about life, heartbreaks, losing life, going and having good times and having bad times. It's what everybody goes through. And still, the album, like I said, we had 10 songs. I was just like, it still doesn't seem appropriate for me to dedicate to my brother. And then Brian Cole, he said, you have to listen to the song. And he knows the story, about my brother and what I wanted to do. And he played Tony Arata's song, Something Worth Remembering. And once I heard that song, I knew exactly what song was going to be first on the album, and what song was going to be last. And Something Worth Remembering was going to be the last song because it sums it all up. It sums the whole album up. It just made it like, it's just like this light came on and it was like, wow, this song is about a life. It could be my life, my brother's life, other people's life out there. And Something Worth Remembering, that song being written by Tony Arata and me, I one of my influences is Garth Brooks, and I said this is perfect, So I really believe God gave me that song to put on this album, and I said it's the best title for this whole album, Something Worth Remembering. You have to remember it's a lifetime, and that song actually, Something Worth Remembering, is about you're going to go through hard times, you're going to go through good times. You may have an addiction that you need to beat an addiction, or you have to always strive to be a better person and being the best person that you can be and do good for others. And that's what my brother did. He did good for others. There's so many times that he would show up and have my back, and I didn't even know he was even doing it. If I'd play like a rough, rowdy bar, I'm a little guy, he was a big guy, and and he would show up. Oh, I'd shut up to hear you sing. But now I look back since he's gone, it's like the places he always shut up were the rowdy places, and I just think he was there to have my back, and he used to do things for me and other people. He had a big heart, and I look back now, and you know those are the things I remember about him, all the good things, and it just made it perfect to dedicate the whole album to him, and to have Tony Arata write that song is amazing. So it's like one whole package, and it's a life story of somebody. I just want people, it doesn't matter what kind of things you've gone through, or addictions, or habits. You need to always strive to be the best person that God wanted you to be, and my brother made his mark on his world, on my heart, on my parents' heart, my other brother's heart, his friends, and his girlfriend, and it like I said, that song made the album. It just brought it all together like a package.
Absolutely. Let's talk about Savannah because I was reading through your bio and it said that you were going to be writing some stuff with her in the future. As much as you can, kind of
Yeah,
talk about your collaboration.
yeah. Like I said, I met Savannah the first time we recorded the song, and we've been contacting each other back and forth. And like I said, she's amazing. So, get on YouTube. Her name's Savannah Nider, and her voice is just absolutely wonderful. We've been talking back and forth, and in fact, when I was down in Nashville, we said we should get together and write. So we've been talking, and we've been throwing some ideas around. So hopefully we can do that. It's so easy to do it now. You don't even have to go and see each other with all the technology now, and we can just plan a time and do a Zoom meeting and write. But there's still nothing like being in Nashville. There's some kind of energy there, Yeah, that we plan on doing that. So, and there's some other people I want to write with. My producer's gonna set me up with a few people down in Nashville that he knows, and since I'm on a label now, it gives me a little bit more leverage, to write with some other people. And plus, I get to hear a little bit more of some of my current stuff. I wrote 6 of the songs in the album, and 5 of the songs are written by other writers like Danny Wells, and Reba McEntire's niece co-wrote a song you could drink a beer to. So I have some pretty heavy writers on the album. I debated on having just my songs, and I said, no, I want to do something different this time. I want to have some writers. I just thought it would be a benefit to the album and give it a little bit more variety too, and it definitely did that. So I do plan on writing. I never really co-wrote with anyone before, but I definitely want to do that. I even have some Christian ideas that I think are gonna really they're gonna be great songs. So I have a couple of those I've been fooling with. So if I can get somebody else in there to co-write, and I just think it would bring more to the song and anything to make a song better. As musicians, we all want to be better than what we are today. We want to be better tomorrow than what we are today. Doesn't matter if you're the greatest or not. I do have to mention one guy's name is named Adam Ernest. He's with Sony now, but he did all the music on my latest album and some arranging too. And absolutely awesome guy, young guy. So you're going to be hearing a lot of him. Again, his name's Adam Ernest, and all the people I've worked with, I have so much respect for. And Matt Weston also. I don't know if you ever talked to him before. He's on the MTS Records also, and he did some background vocals on this latest on the latest album too. So a lot of good people. There's good people out there, and people that believe in God, and people that really care about other people. And it's awesome to find that group of people, especially in the music business. I have so much respect for all of them.
Why don't you? I do this to every singer that I have on the show. Why don't you do a little acapella for us from the top track on your new album?
Well, let's see here. Uh, let me think. Any of them, or let's see.
I would like to hear something worth remembering because I know that's a near and dear song to your heart.
You put me on the spot here, buddy.
Absolutely,
I
love
can't even
doing it.
remember the words. I'm like, holy shit, my mind just went completely blank. Let me think about it. Okay, let's go into something else. I'll see what I can. My mind's completely blank, sir.
No
Sorry.
problem. Well,
Sorry about that.
while you're thinking about that, why don't you just give out contact information? How can people
Sure.
connect with you and your social media and all that?
Yeah, right. I don't know when this program airs, but actually the album is coming out tomorrow, Friday, March 26th. So you'll get to hear all the songs actually. So I'm so excited about that. I can't wait for people to hear, the songs that are on there. I've been sort of keeping them quiet to all the people that follow me. They've been hounding me like, I want to hear your album. I want to hear, you're not going to hear it till the day, that's why we have a release, so anticipation. My website is www.garyprattmusic.com. You will find all the links there to Spotify, iTunes, Snapchat, Pinterest. You'll find all that information. Just click on the button on any of the pages and it'll take you right to those sites. Also, there's a lot of different videos and pictures of my past work. Of course, none of the new stuff will be on air until after tomorrow, except for a song you can drink a beer to. You can click on that link and it takes you right to the song on YouTube. I'm really honored also that a song you could drink a beer to was actually #1 in South Africa on iTunes there for a while, and I'm really happy about that. Yeah, that's all the information, that I think you'll find me. You put Gary Pratt, country music singer, you're going to find a lot of reviews and news articles, and so thanks to the local press around here in Pittsburgh and MTS Records, they've been really been getting me out there. So
Absolutely. You got that song ready for us? You don't have to do the whole song. Just do a little bit for us, maybe a
yeah,
chorus or something. Or you can do something you can drink a beer to. Do that one.
Our days are given one day at a time, minute by minute, line by line. That's a little bit anyhow.
Yeah, that's good enough. You got any
Good.
final?
Sorry, guys.
Oh, no problem. You got any final thoughts before we close it out?
I just want to thank you, for taking the time. And next time we talk, I'm going to make sure I know all my songs. I think that's the first time someone asked me that, So now I learned something. So thank you. I love learning things. So no, I just want to thank you and thank everybody that's been, supporting me and people that have been tuning into all the podcasts and radio shows and and listen to what I have to say. Everything I say comes from the heart. And that's what this album's about. It comes from the heart, and I just appreciate it. Please share it. Share your Spotify playlist with your friends. Put me on it. Follow me on Spotify and YouTube, and check out my website. And any young people out there that want any tips on different things, I've learned a lot this past year with this new project, and I'd be happy to share it with anybody. My email is garyprattmusic@aol.com. So feel free to hit me up, okay?
Absolutely. New album coming out tomorrow. Make sure you guys get it and tell a friend. Also, be sure to follow, rate, review, and share after listening to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, Gary Pratt.
Thank you, guys. God bless.
You guys get it and tell a friend. Also, be sure to follow, rate, review, and share after listening to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, Gary Pratt.
Thank you, guys. God bless.
For more information on the Living the Dream podcast, visit www.djcurveball.com. Until next time, stay focused on living the dream.